You mean that? Thanks for the invitation in the very first place. Thanks for your attendance, everybody who is joining over the internet. Maybe I need some clarification on the question. So, what you're basically saying is that the Pirate Party being involved in it is marginalizing the problem.
Sorry, I blindsided you. This was not my intention. All I wanted to say was that with all due respect to the Pirate Party, I mean, we have a liberal here, but we have no conservatives, we've got no social democrats debating this. And if people simply look at these, look at the representation here, they might automatically think if it's something that interests the Pirate Party, it might not be an important issue. So essentially, you have a huge problem convincing the public that what you're doing is the right thing, and I think what you're doing is the right thing.
Okay, I'm getting the question now. So, honestly, I'm not sure where this really comes from. The Czech Pirate Party is one of the strongest parties in the Czech Republic, where we have 21 out of 200 seats in the lower chamber of the parliament, which is the third biggest party in the parliament. And since that happened, which is fall 2017, we've been getting better and better in the polls. So we're kind of like polling at 18%. And we are being, and I believe that this is the evidence that we are being seen as an important party, and we represent a lot of people in the country. So
I stand corrected.
So I don't think we are kind of the party that might, attract the opinion that this problem is actually marginal. Maybe I'll reintroduce myself again. My name is Marcel, Kolaja. I'm a member of the Czech Pirate Party. I am the leading candidate in the European elections. And maybe just to reinforce a little on what I have said, our goal is to win the election with 20%. So I'll go in my short speech, I'll go directly into the message that I want to send, which is the copyright needs to be reformed. We have heard a lot, from David Kay and also from the panelists before, and I'd like to elaborate a little on it. So if we do not do it, if we do not reform copyright, and if we keep enforcing the old ancient copyright that currently is in place, will always lead to censorship. And this copyright directive and the Article 13 is exactly the evidence of it. The copyright is outdated. It works with an old last century model of, let's say, producer to consumer flow, where you have like a small group of producers that are feeding into these consumers, and they have their distribution channels, they have their label companies, and everything is perfect. Consumers are paying for the music, the movies, the articles, and everything. But that's no longer the case, and even the copyright works with the idea that everything that it solves is basically commercial and to make a living out of it. And that's no longer the case today with the new digital era, with the internet. Everything has changed, and everything is much more complicated because there is the internet brought the option to do remixing by what was supposed to be, or who was supposed to be in the past, the consumers. So now there is no clear line between the consumers and the producers, but the copyright still, like, we have the copyright like if we thought that it's still the case, and we were trying to solve the problem how to pay the authors for their works. But it's much more complicated these days. The new creative ways of remixing include internet memes, for instance. So let's say, my favorite example, you take a picture from Star Wars of Darth Vader, and you put your popular politician quote on top of it, right? And you share it, and people make fun of it, and it's really cool. It might happen to me in the future as well. And it's really cool, and it does not cause any harm to anyone. Like, who is supposed to be the author that is going to starve because of this? That just makes no sense. But technically, at least in several European countries, this is illegal. This is copyright infringement. But so that does not make any sense in the new internet digital era these days. Copyright is about show business, basically. It's about the top producers, label companies, publishers, and it's protecting them so that they get paid. Copyright is never going to solve a problem of genius authors of revolutionary artwork, as we are being told sometimes, or very often actually. Very often when I run into into a discussion or a debate about what's bad, what's right about copyright, that it's always the argument. It's like, oh, so how the authors will, get paid, and then they come with the example of someone, like really genius, and the one is, buying their artwork because it can be downloaded on the internet. This has never been a problem for the biggest ones. It will never be a problem for the biggest ones. They will deal with it with or without copyright in these days of the new internet digital era. The internet brings new distribution channels, and it's much easier for them. They just need to adopt their business models. And it's never going to solve the problem of these, genius authors that we are being told the copyright is going to solve the problem. No, it's not. It has never solved the problem. It will never solve the problem. I think it was several times told in this discussion already. This copyright directive is basically about regulating the biggest platforms, Google and Facebook. Like let's be fair. This is what the Article 11 and Article 13 is about. Well, the copyright is not the right law to fix this problem. It's all about money. It's all about publishers versus platforms. It's about the music industry versus platforms. So it's like Axel Springer and Google are fighting, like, who gets a bigger share of money. It's about the label companies fighting with Google and Facebook, who gets a better share of the money. But so where are the users, I ask? Like, this is the main problem. Where is the public interest? Like David Kay talked about the public interest that must be there. I ask where it is. So this is basically a fight between giants when they are protecting their current business models. And what I say is users should not be punished for the kind of remediation that the Commission and the Parliament is trying to do here between these big players. And this is unfortunately the case with Article 11 13. And that's really, really, really concerning to me because it really touches the fundamental rights. So there are real problems that need to be solved, but outside copyright actually. Think of, like, I'll give you an example from the Czech Republic. So Google is definitely an internet giant. It's basically close to a monopoly. And the Czech Republic is kind of special. There is a company called Seznam, and that company has some share on the market, and they are able to make money out of it. So they pay taxes, as everyone should, and they pay the income, for the last year, for instance, they paid an income tax of roughly 10 million euro per that year. However, Google in the Czech Republic paid only, well, definitely under 1 million. I don't know if we still have someone from Google here who can comment, but it's like, it's unfair. And the legislators know it. And what I feel here is that they are trying to fix it, but they are trying to fix it from a wrong end. Copyright is not going to fix that problem. So that's one thing. Another thing is, and I'm close to the end already. So platforms are in power of, deciding what content we are being shown and what content they are hiding already. They already have, like, what do you know what is on your Facebook wall? It is like, how do you know what is there, like what is the decision, what is hidden, and what is shown and what is deleted. So I think we need to regulate how they do it, and they need to be transparent about how these decisions are made. And this is, again, nothing copyright can solve. The internet is an important place today where people, meet, they interact, they create, they share fantastic things. They express themselves. So my message to legislators is, like, do not mess with it to fix the business. Do not mess with the fundamental rights. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very clear message.